What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Kang is officially out of the MCU. I know that makes a lot of fans sad. I know a lot of people wanted to see where they were going to go with Kang in Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. I was one of those people. I am one of those people. I'm excited Robert Downey Jr. is returning and playing Doctor Doom, but I really was excited for Kang. But according to a new report, we don't have to wonder what was going to happen, as it looks like we know what Marvel Studios was planning for Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars, with Kang being the main villain, of course. So we have reportedly the plot of Avengers Kang Dynasty. The website maxblizz.com says that they have the exclusive on this, but I have also seen some insiders posting this on Twitter, so not sure who originally put this out, but a few websites and a few different insiders are all basically posting the same exact thing, the same exact plot for what Kang Dynasty was supposed to be, and we'll never really know because I don't think Marvel Studios will ever really give us a confirmation on this. But what's interesting about this plot leak for what Kang Dynasty could have been is that it doesn't really involve our immediate Avengers team right now in the MCU, which does kind of make sense because we don't really have one right now. We have people who could be a part of the Avengers team, but they're not assembled right now. Captain America is kind of alone. Yes, maybe the Hulk will join him in his movie. We know Spider-Man, of course, is an Avenger, but people don't know who Peter Parker is right now. Doctor Strange is seemingly in a different realm. Thor is off planet as well. We don't really have an Avengers team, but it doesn't really matter for this plot leak because according to it, that was not really the team that they were going to focus on. It's really interesting, so let's dive into it. And remember, this is what it was supposed to be. It's obviously not this anymore, but it starts off by stating, in Avengers the Kang Dynasty, the TVA began gathering anchor beans from across the multiverse. Now, if you haven't watched Deadpool and Wolverine, an anchor bean is essentially just an incredibly important and, I'm assuming, powerful being, in which if that being dies in the universe, the entire universe begins to die as well. Now, it takes a couple of thousand years for this to happen, but ultimately that universe will die. We learned that in Deadpool and Wolverine. So it says the TVA begins gathering anchor beans from across the multiverse, believing that the anchor beans were the only ones powerful enough to defeat the Council of Kangs. And that checks out. That would make sense. If the anchor beans are so important and powerful, it would make sense to gather the best anchor beans from the multiverse to defeat the Council of Kangs. And this actually lines up with an old plot leak that we heard for Deadpool and Wolverine, where we heard the TVA was actually grabbing heroes from other universes and bringing them all into one spot. Now, originally we thought that they were grabbing these beings because their universes were being destroyed and they were saving the most powerful people from their universes. And that's kind of what this plot leak essentially says. The multiverse is kind of being destroyed or threatened by the Council of Kang, so the TVA gathers all of these powerful anchor beings to fight them. It continues to state Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were the anchors for their respective realities, while Tom Holland's Spider-Man served as the anchor for Earth 616. Now, I will say, although this is not confirmed, many insiders have hinted that Spider-Man is indeed the anchor for our Earth 616 universe. When Deadpool and Wolverine first came out, everybody online said, well, Iron Man, Tony Stark had to be the anchor for our universe, right? And a bunch of insiders said no. Then some people guessed Doctor Strange, and then the insiders started hinting that it was Spider-Man. And considering how popular Spider-Man is, he's probably the most popular character in the MCU right now. That's debatable, of course, and objective, but out of all the characters that are probably the anchor beings, he's pretty high up there on who it probably is. Plus, all the insiders are hinting at it, so I'm assuming that's what we're going with right now. But the leak continues to state the movie was intended to be smaller in scope compared to Avengers Secret Wars, focusing more on Holland's Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and other anchors like Nick Cage's Ghost Rider. And also, I want to add to that point, it was just confirmed by Ryan Reynolds himself that Nicolas Cage did almost return as Ghost Rider in Deadpool and Wolverine. In an interview with Collider, when they specifically asked about Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider, Ryan Reynolds said, yeah, they had a conversation about it, but no, obviously nothing came from it. Perhaps that's because they originally wanted to use him for Kang Dynasty? Who knows, but the original plot details reportedly say that he was supposed to appear as an anchor being, and this kind of checks out with him almost returning in Deadpool and Wolverine. So as you can see, the details for the Kang Dynasty make it appear that the plan wasn't really to focus on our Earth 616 Avengers team, more along the lines of multiversal anchor beings, but apparently that was going to change for Secret Wars. We'll talk about that in just a bit. But first, I want to talk to you about a game that I really never thought twice about. I used to think it was pretty generic. I used to think it was pay to win, but now I've actually come to enjoy it quite a bit. And if you've been following the channel, you probably already know that I played this game. We're talking about Raid Shadow Legends, the sponsors of today's video. And a lot of people think that this game is a time grinder, but it is not. It actually has an auto battle mode, which saves a ton of time and is something that I really enjoy about it. Again, a lot of people think it's pay to win. I thought so myself, but there is so much content in this game. There is so much free content to be played. You can have a ton of fun for free. And it really is challenging and has so much you can do. They have 800 plus champions, 16 factions, 1 million plus builds, 30 plus bosses, and they constantly do updates every month. Plus you can play cross-platform and play with your friends and family in your own clan. So to start playing, click the link in the description or scan my QR code to get insane bonuses available only via my link. You'll immediately get a huge starter pack with an epic champion, Tyrell, from the High Elves faction. And many people believe that Tyrell is the very best epic that you can get. Plus you get another starter pack after reaching level 25 that includes an epic Rector Drath, one of the strongest support epics. So hit the link or scan the QR code and find me under my name, Cosmic Warren, and join my clan, Cosmic Wonders. So the conclusion of the old plot details for Kang Dynasty and the old Kang plans for Secret Wars state, the plan was for all of them, all of the anchor beings in Kang Dynasty, to ultimately fail, leading to the collapse of the multiverse and Kang's creation of Battleworld. This would set the stage for Secret Wars, where other MCU characters and additional multiverse figures would converge on Battleworld. So here's the very interesting thing about this. The end result is almost completely the same. If you take away Kang, if you take away Doom, and you kind of just put a faceless multiversal villain there, the outcome is still the same. The multiverse gets destroyed, Battleworld is created, all of the heroes from different universes end up on Battleworld, they go up against this main villain, and then at the end, we assume Reed Richards and his son Franklin Richards and maybe Doctor Strange, the Scarlet Witch, whoever it may be and however it may happen, the Avengers and the Fantastic Four restore the multiverse in some way, shape, or form. So the outcome is still the same, despite the main villain switching from Kang to Doom. But what ends up changing a lot, apparently, is Avengers 5, what was supposed to be Kang Dynasty and is now Doomsday. From what we have heard, the plans for Avengers 5, the story has completely changed. With everything that happened with Jonathan Majors and Kang being out, they completely rewrote the script for Kang Dynasty, and we've heard that the writer for Avengers 5 did indeed change. In fact, now it sounds like Stephen McFeely, who co-wrote all of the movies that the Russo brothers directed, including Captain America Winter Soldier, Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War. He also wrote Captain America The First Avenger. The Russo brothers didn't direct that one, but he also did write Captain America Civil War. And for these movies with the Russo brothers, he co-wrote them with Christopher Marcus and Joe Simon on some of them. So it looks like, according to the press release that AGBO, the Russo brothers company, put out after the announcement of their return to Marvel, it looks like Stephen McFeely is set to write both Doomsday and Secret Wars. So yeah, it looks like the script that we once knew, or that we now know, that was for Kang Dynasty is now just gone. Kang's out, Doom is end. And although I am pretty sure they are keeping the anchor beings since they just introduced those in Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm sure things will be switched up a little bit for Doomsday. Although I do really like the idea of the anchor beings from each universe being very important characters for Doomsday or eventually for Secret Wars. And again, since we don't really have an Avengers team right now, it looks like Marvel Studios is going to have to assemble that either before the film somehow, and it was said once upon a time that Captain America Brave New World would kind of set up a new Avengers team. We'll have to wait and see on that, but if not in Captain America, some other time before the movie, in which I don't think there is another project they can do that with. So if they can't do that before the movie, they're going to have to establish the new Avengers team very early on in Avengers Doomsday, and get them to interact with the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom pretty early on in the movie as well, because it's been confirmed the Fantastic Four will be in both Doomsday and Secret Wars. So this was the previous plan for Kang Dynasty, and you know what? I like it. I like what they were going to do, and it makes me sad that this isn't what we're going to see anymore. I think Kang was a great villain. I think the plan that they had with the multiverse and the Council of Kangs and He Who Remains, everything, I think that was pretty good. I just feel like we should have dove into it a lot sooner. If they did, it would have been a lot harder to abandon the storyline, which is essentially what they're doing now. Like I said, some of it's the same for Secret Wars and the ending of Avengers 5, but as far as the multiverse is concerned now, we don't have the Council of Kangs out there threatening it. So that story's going to change. They might adapt the story from the comics where Doctor Doom accidentally causes the first incursion with Molecule Man. We'll have to wait and see on it, but definitely some big changes have been made. I am excited to see what the future holds for us, and I am excited for Doom. But are you excited, or would you have rather preferred this old script, this old version of Kang Dynasty, over what we're about to get with Doom and Robert Downey Jr.'s return? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any MCU news. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.